Vamos lá então, galera. Esse vídeo aqui foi postado há 12 dias atrás, que é um brother fazendo aqui uma análise da área PVP do Diablo, que eu nem botei o pé ainda. Então, vamos ver qual é, né?
I've been asked a lot if the PvP zone is any good. I'm going to break down my experience for you so you can know what I experienced from farming the PvP zone for many hours. I did actually farm the PvP zone a lot. I got the cosmetic for getting the 100,000 shards for the horse. I wanted that for a YouTube short. During my time farming that, I realized that there's a few things about the PvP zone you might actually like. First and foremost, the mob density seems to be fairly high. You can notice that in this videos. You'll also probably notice the goblin spawn rate seems to be very high. This is actually the area that has the highest goblin spawn rate I have personally experienced. Keep in mind, this is anecdotal data. I'm not a data miner. This is only from my experience of playing the game. But I got more legendaries, I got more treasure goblins showing up, and I had bigger packs of mobs on average while farming here. Now, what do you actually get for farming this region? Well, there's events that can work for the Tree of Whispers, but on top of it, there is a couple Altar of Liliths in these PvP areas, so you might want to go for that reason. But the primary reason you're farming this location is for the red cosmetic sort of dust or shards or whatever they call it here. They're shards of hatred, I think is effectively the name. You collect these and you turn them in town in order to purchase cosmetics. Now, the cosmetics themselves don't actually gain you any benefit. These cosmetics are things like cosmetics for your horse. You can actually get a horse itself. It's the most expensive cosmetic, which is a horse with blood all over it. There are horse and mount related trophies that can go on the side. So if you're looking for cosmetics in a way to show off your PvP skills, or really honestly more how much you've been in a PvP area, as it's not necessarily, you're not really trading in like the ears when you kill somebody. So let's actually talk about PvP and what happens. PvP for me seems to be extremely unbalanced. You definitely are either going to one-shot people or get one-shot.
Então, vamos lá, né? Basicamente, tem a quantidade de mobs alta, da hora, o drop rate de lendário parece ser maior e a aparição dos goblins parece ser maior, que o goblin é bem roubadinho também, né? E aí você pega esses shardzinhos que você dropa e troca por cosméticos, né? Troca por cosméticos, maneiro. Aí vem a parte do PVP em si, que é exatamente o que eu imaginava já. Tá falando que é totalmente desbalanceado e é basicamente hit kill. Ou você mata o cara com um hit kill, ou você toma um hit kill e morre, né?
That has been the primary of my experience. There seems to be no return on, shout out to Slaydra, we are messing around testing this. There seems to be no diminishing returns on CC, so things like days, etc. can be infinitely chained. The game does not see remotely balanced in terms of PvP. That is my own personal experience. That is mostly because most people aren't going to be the same level, and by the time everyone's level 100, you probably have already been farming this area anyway. So I would assume that most people that are hardcore are going to avoid the PvP areas, because if you meet someone who's like 5 levels higher, even if you're kitted out and they're really not, they're just going to kill you because they're higher level. That's pretty much what I have seen so far in the game. Now, when you kill somebody, you actually get an ear from them. That ear doesn't actually do anything. It's just a trophy saying you killed the person. I couldn't find anywhere you could turn it in. I checked every vendor. I asked all the friends that I knew about it.
No eu não sei se vocês viram isso, mas quando você mata um cara no PVP, você dropa a orelha dele, tá ligado? Você dropa uma orelha do cara, que é só um troféu. Eu já vi um cara que tá colecionando, não sei quem tava aqui na live, que tá colecionando orelha já. Tem umas 4 orelhas guardadas no baú. É maneiro, isso é maneiro, assim, é engraçado, não vale nada, mas é engraçado, é maneiro, tá ligado?
Actual ears do. So they're just a bragging right that you've killed somebody and you have collected their ear. The only things you get are these seeds of hatred, shards of fear. Yeah, they're seeds of hatred. You can see them on the screen here. The seeds of hatred are actually how you turn in and get the cosmetics, and that's from PvE farming. So it's really not a PvP zone where you're explicitly trying to kill people. It's more of a zone where you're trying to farm things, and the only time that you're worried about being killed is when somebody else wants your seeds of hatred and they can steal them from you. So when you die, you effectively drop half your seeds of hatred. If someone kills you, they can take your seeds of hatred, and in order to do that, you have to be
O tokenzinho que você pega, quando você morre, você dropa metade. Metade deles pro cara que te matou, né? Que é a vantagem de você matar alguém também, né?
Flagged. Basically, blood marked is what they call being flagged in this game. Being flagged in this game effectively means you are open to PvP. Now, you will be flagged if you end up trying to turn in your Seeds of Hatred. You can see there's a number in the top right corner, which will tell you how many Seeds of Hatred you are carrying with you. When you take those seeds to one of the altars in order to turn them in, it's going to be a 60-second event where some minions will run at you, a very easy event, but during that time, you can absolutely be PvP. You are marked in order to do that. You have to basically flag yourself. There's also a boss that walks around during the PvP area, which you can kill for a big stack of Seeds of Hatred, and very often will grant you a legendary at the higher world tiers. But other than that, you're mostly farming this area for mob density, for the fact that it seems like a lot of treasure goblins farm here. I don't think the legendary drop rate is necessarily higher, but just having a lot of minions sort of helps that. And you're mostly farming here for the cosmetics. So if you're wondering the answer to, do I have to do PvP in order to be competitive in this game? In my own personal opinion, the answer is definitely no. You do not have to do PvP. The only PvP zone you might want to step into is the one in the north, because there's an altar that will give you a full Paragon point just for claiming the altar. That's my own personal take. I could be wrong, but that has been my experience so far within the game. The PvP zone is good to farm, but it is not necessary to farm. The PvP cosmetics do look cool, but they don't gain you actual benefits in the game at all. They are purely cosmetic transmog type of things. So that is my opinion on the PvP zone. I will have a more further breakdown as the game evolves, but that's where we're at. Consider subscribing and liking this video today to help me out. Love you.
Humilde, humilde, humilde. Cara, sinceramente, parece bem exatamente o que eu esperava, né, dessa área PVP aqui, saca? E novamente, cara, eu acho que todo mundo que tem alguma expectativa de que algum RPG vai balancear PVP algum dia na vida, mano, pra mim seria um milagre. Quando o Diablo falou que ia ter PVP, eu falei, beleza, mais um PVP desbalanceado só pra dizer que tem, tá ligado? Não vai ser um bagulho que a galera vai realmente fazer, se dedicar, enfim. Que a própria empresa vai se dedicar, entendeu? A fazer alguma coisa coerente. Cara, não tem como. Porque, velho, se você faz um jogo onde o PvE é louquíssimo, né? Pega aí Path of Exile, o próprio Diablo, né? Com essas habilidades loucas, área pra caralho, dano pra porra, um monte de atributo adicional que você pode colocar. Como é que você balanceia isso no PVP, mano? É um trampo absurdo, mano, é conseguir balancear isso. Jogos com muito menos informação do que isso já, passa mal pra conseguir fazer um balanceamento minimamente decente e ainda falha miseravelmente, né? Então, cara, a minha expectativa de que alguém vai conseguir balancear PVP num RPG como esses aqui é zero, zero mesmo, mano. Pra mim vai ser à beira de um milagre se alguma empresa conseguir fazer isso. Então, cara, a minha expectativa era muito minúscula com relação a isso, então, sei lá, tá de boa. Não esperava em nenhum momento que ia fazer PVP aqui mesmo, que ia ser eficiente. Mas se você tava esperando, tá aí o feedback de alguém que fez, né? O meu era pura teoria. Aqui a gente tem o feedback de alguém que realmente fez e falou basicamente isso, né? Então você quer brincar lá, quer pegar os cosméticos, quer pegar, ter um dropzinho maior, quer, né, poder testar a sua build de alguém dando hit kill no cara que é mais fraco que você, show de bola. Mas se você quer realmente uma mecânica de PVP, né, cara, com CCs e combos e não sei o quê, cara, infelizmente, duvido muito que vai rolar isso aí, cara, não tem como não. Mas é isso, deixa aí nos comentários o que você achou, se você não sabia como é que era a área PVP, como eu também não sabia, e a gente se esbarra no próximo aí, é nóis.